You know that sharp, sudden twinge in your knee? Or perhaps that heavy, dragging feeling in your legs when you head out for your daily walk? A lot of people brush it off, thinking it is just an inevitable part of adding miles to our life's odometer. But it really isn't. What you are feeling is a direct result of stepping onto hard pavement while the fluid inside your joints is still thick, and your stabilizing muscles are simply not switched on yet. If you want to stop that painful bone-on-bone grinding, prevent dangerous trips on uneven sidewalks, and safely open up your blood vessels for much better circulation, there is a routine you really need to try. It is a simple 3-minute chair exercise that you absolutely must do before you head out for a walk. Right now, your routine might look a bit like this. You lace up your favorite, comfortable walking shoes and immediately head out the front door. It makes sense, right? But think about it. After spending a few hours sitting in your favorite armchair watching TV, or right after waking up from a night's sleep, your body is simply not prepared to absorb what we call ground reaction forces, that sudden, heavy impact of your foot hitting the concrete forces the delicate cartilage in your knees and your lower spine to absorb every single ounce of shock. Your body actually has built-in internal shock absorbers. These are the muscles that wrap snugly around your joints and stabilize the vertebrae in your back. But after resting, they are essentially in a deep sleep. When you stand up and immediately start a brisk walk, you are asking these dormant tissues to perform at their absolute peak capacity without a single moment of warm-up. This sudden demand is the exact physiological trigger for micro-trauma in the joints. The solution here isn't resting more, and you certainly don't need to go out and buy more expensive shoes. Instead, the answer is a precise sequence of 3 seated movements. They act just like a biological pump, flooding your legs with rich, oxygenated blood, resetting the communication pathways from your nerves to your muscles, and locking your joints into perfect, safe alignment before you even stand up. Before we start building this biological shield for your joints, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. What is the absolute most frustrating pain or struggle you deal with when you try to enjoy your daily walk? Is it that harsh grinding sensation in your knee, a stubborn tightness in your lower back, or maybe a lingering fear of losing your balance on uneven ground? Let's discuss it in the comments section so we can make sure to address your specific personal needs in future guides. And please, if you want to protect your mobility and stay confidently independent, take a moment to like this video, share it with your walking buddy, and hit that subscribe button right now to join our wonderful community of active walkers. Let's fix those walking mechanics right now, straight from your chair. We are going to count down from number 3, all the way to the single most crucial joint-saving movement you can do. Number 3, the seated stride simulator. You see, walking isn't just about moving your legs forward. It is actually a beautifully complex, full-body movement that involves cross-rotation. For a smooth stride, your opposite arm and opposite leg must work perfectly together to keep you balanced, and this whole system is anchored by a strong abdominal core. When you sit for long stretches of time, this vital cross-body connection becomes uncoordinated. The result? Your lower back is forced to twist in an unnatural, painful way with every single step you take. Believe it or not, this is where the vast majority of walking-related back injuries actually originate. Not from the legs themselves, but from the core failing to stabilize your torso while your leg swings forward. To execute the seated stride simulator, I want you to sit nice and tall on the front half of a sturdy chair that doesn't have armrests. Keep your back completely straight, lift your chest proudly, and place both of your feet completely flat on the floor. Now, press your right foot firmly down into the ground, exactly as if you were stepping forward and taking your full body weight on that leg. At the exact same time, lift your left knee about 2 inches off the floor. As you perform this leg movement, reach your right arm forward and swing your left arm back, perfectly mimicking the natural, rhythmic arm swing of a brisk walk. Hold this intense cross-body position for 3 full seconds. You will feel your core muscles tighten up instantly as your body naturally fights to maintain its equilibrium. Slowly lower back down and let's switch sides, pressing the left foot down, lifting the right knee, and swinging the left arm forward. You want to perform 10 controlled, highly purposeful repetitions on each side, making sure you do not rush the movement at all. By pressing one foot down while lifting the other and swinging your arms, you actively engage your anterior oblique slings. Think of these as a complex network of muscles that diagonally connect your shoulder all the way down to your opposite hip. Clinical biomechanics research clearly shows that creating this cross-body tension trains your central nervous system to lock your pelvis and your spine into a safe, neutral position. By pre-activating this muscle pattern, you effectively eliminate those destructive twisting and shear forces in your lower back that usually happen when you finally bear weight during your walk. Number 2. The resisted psoas lift. Have you ever noticed that tripping is rarely about walking too fast? It is usually a mechanical failure in the step itself. When you sit for prolonged hours, reading or relaxing, the deep hip flexor muscles responsible for lifting your thigh up, specifically the psoas and iliacus muscles, become extremely weak and chronically tight. When these crucial muscles cannot forcefully lift your leg high enough as it swings forward, your toe drops dangerously close to the pavement. This exact lack of clearance is the physiological basis of what we call the shuffling gait. We are going to fix that weak link right now, safely from your chair, while simultaneously opening up your blood vessels. Sit upright near the edge of your chair, keeping both feet flat on the floor about hip-width apart. Make sure your spine is perfectly straight. Avoid hunching your shoulders over and keep your chest lifted up. Slowly raise your right knee straight up toward the ceiling, holding it just about 3 inches off the floor. Now, take your right hand, place your flat palm perfectly on top of that raised right knee, and push down firmly toward the floor. At the exact same time, use the natural strength of your hip and leg to push your knee forcefully up against your hand. What you are doing is creating a strict isometric battle between your hand and your leg. Your leg shouldn't actually move up or down, but the tension you feel should be quite high. Hold this strong, resistive tension for 5 full seconds. Remember to exhale deeply as you push. You can keep your back stable against the backrest if you need a little support, or stay unsupported if you want a greater challenge for your core. You will feel a powerful muscle contraction right at the front crease of your hip. Relax completely, lower the foot gently, and repeat. Aim for 8 high-quality, deliberate repetitions on your right leg, and then switch over to perform 8 repetitions on your left leg. This isometric resistance intensely targets your iliopsoas muscle complex. Studies analyzing the gait cycle confirm that waking up this primary hip flexor completely restores the natural clearance height of your foot, which effectively prevents the dangerous foot drop that so often causes trips and falls. Furthermore, this localized, strong muscle tension creates a physical shear stress against your artery walls. This specific action naturally stimulates the release of nitric oxide, a wonderful little signaling molecule that dilates your blood vessels. By performing this simple movement, you are quite literally flooding your lower legs with rich, oxygenated blood and lowering your systemic vascular resistance before you even take your very first step outside, which wonderfully reduces the overall workload on your heart. Number 1. The seated terminal knee extension. A lot of people are surprised to learn that knee pain during walking is often not a problem with the joint itself. Instead, it is a failure of the muscles that are meant to absorb the shock. There is a specific teardrop-shaped muscle on the inner part of your lower thigh called the vastus medialis, and frankly, it tends to go a bit quiet on us after decades of use. When it fails to fire perfectly on time, your kneecap tracks right out of its proper alignment, grinding aggressively against your underlying cartilage with every single step. This next movement locks that kneecap right back into its perfect pain-free groove. Go ahead and sit back slightly in your chair so you have some mild support, but make sure to maintain a nice, tall posture. Slowly extend your right leg straight out in front of you, pointing your toes up toward the ceiling. Once your leg is completely straight, I want you to focus your mind entirely on the front of your thigh. Squeeze, flex, and tighten that front thigh muscle as hard as you safely can. Focus your attention directly on that inner teardrop area just above the kneecap. Imagine you are trying to lock your knee joint solidly into concrete. Hold this intense, static muscle squeeze for 5 full seconds. You might even notice the muscle tissue generating a bit of heat, which is perfectly normal. Slowly and smoothly release the tension. Gently lower your foot back to the floor to rest, and then repeat the process. Perform 5 slow, high-quality repetitions on your right leg, and then switch to complete 5 identical repetitions on your left leg. This terminal extension statically isolates that vastus medialis oblique muscle. Orthopedic research consistently demonstrates that firing this specific muscle pulls your kneecap directly into its precise central groove within the femoral trochlea. This critical action stops the painful bone-on-bone friction and actually stimulates the production and distribution of synovial fluid throughout the knee capsule. By manually stimulating this fluid, you are safely and naturally lubricating the joint structure, very much like adding fresh oil to a car's engine before a long drive, without subjecting the delicate meniscus cartilage to any of the damaging shear forces that happen during full weight-bearing movement. By strictly following this 3-minute protocol, using the stride simulator to align your spine, the resisted psoas lift to clear your toes, and the terminal knee extension to shield your cartilage, you will completely transform how your body absorbs impact. You will find yourself walking with lighter legs, vastly superior balance, and the absolute confidence to maintain your wonderful independence. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to keep moving safely, and I will see you in the next video.